Hey everybody, it's Gil here, and I'm back aboard Last Affair. Man, it's been a while. As you know, we've been having work done on the boat while we've been in Florida, and it's just no substitute for getting on it, seeing exactly what needs to be done, really sort of getting ready for a trip across the Gulf. There's definitely some things I needed to get wrapped up, and actively working on those now. A couple of simple ones I'm doing this morning. It's blazing hot here in the afternoon, so I'm going to try to get everything done in the mornings. But a quick project for today is the new handrails we had made here. When we had them fabricated, the fabricator basically just took a 3-inch long bolt and stuck it through the handrail to bow pulpit connections. Honestly, never even put a nut on them or anything else, and those things were so long that I was worried that the jib sheet or the sail might actually tear on it. So I went ahead and bought some rounded profile nut caps, and I'm going to go ahead and put them on here. That'll be a nice low profile. It'll keep any sails or anything from getting snagged on it, and certainly keep the sails from ripping, which is certainly important. The other thing we're going to do today is we're going to route the jib roller furling line that I have just sitting up on the handrail down along the outside of the stanchions. I'll show you that in a minute. I bought some really nice Garhauer stanchion blocks that will take the line and put it on the outside of the stanchions, which will be nice. It'll keep the deck good and clear here. So let's get started. So first things first here, we're going to get out onto the actual bow pulpit. I'm going to take a quick look at the new LED lights we had put up here. One's tightened, other one's tightened too. Alright, we've got these nice Garhauer stanchion blocks, and we're going to go ahead and put these on here. Make sure I don't drop any of these parts overboard. Alright, so we've got 7 of these down along one side. From here it'll drop down and go to the cockpit. So over time, wasps have put their nest up in that forward jib sheet cover. I was just up on the bowsprit unhooking the roller furling line, and I noticed one flying by me, so I kind of ignored it against all my instinct, kind of ignored it for a minute, pulled the line out of there, unfurled it, and then when I turned around to walk back this way, there were about 7 or 8 of them swarming there, so I had to walk through them, otherwise go over. I got stung a few times on the belly. I hate wasps, man. I know my daughter said she picked up wasp spray, but I'm not finding it down below here, so I'm going to have to go pick me up some, because I'm not going back out there on the end of the plank, made the bee and all the wasps between us. Alright, with the bow pulpit and handrails bolted together and the stanchion blocks for running the actual jib roller furling line, I think now I'm going to go ahead and at least get the Dinghy DAVIT lines rigged up. This is what I'm going to attempt to haul the dinghy up with when we actually sail back. What I don't know is if this is going to be, if the dinghy's too heavy for lifting at these lift points that are on it. It makes me nervous, so I may have to reinforce it with a strap underneath or something. What we're going to do is attempt to put some Dinghy DAVIT lines up here. My anchor's probably going to be a little bit in the way, but for what I'm doing here, I'm okay with that. We're going to cleat one end of this off because I wouldn't want to lose this thing. Too expensive. What they say, ship shape, right? Everything has to be in a nice ship shape here, so. Not to mention, I don't want this to look nice and new and somebody come by in a boat and grab them. And you know what really sucks is, I just went through my dock box, and after sitting here for a year, it's amazing. Everything in it is just rusted out and nasty, so into the trash it's going, sadly. Battery chargers and some tools. My epoxy box is still in there. That stuff is mostly good, but damn. So I've got bees. There are yellow jackets or wasps in these sail covers. I'm going to come into battle, so this may be entertaining. The other day on the bowsprit, I'll show you this footage. I was up on the bowsprit working in front of the roller furling, and I saw a bee by me, and I kept avoiding it. I looked at the footage of me running back through the bees. Oh my god. Embarrassing and hilarious. I'll show you that in a minute. And in slow motion, which frankly I watched a bunch of times, and it made me laugh at myself so much more.
Well, Whitney said she picked up wasp spray. I came out here and unbuttoned all these and carried my spray out just to make sure I could get them. But it turns out what she got was flying insect spray, like for ants. All it did was piss them off. I'm not having a good day, or 2 days in a row, with wasps, so I'm going to go get that stuff that shoots like an 18-foot stream the size of a fire hose, and I'm going to douse the ever-loving hell out of these things. So after running to the store and getting some real wasp spray, you know, that stuff that shoots like 15 or 20 feet, I must admit I was a little bit gun shy, you know, sore about the belly and chest after getting a bunch of bites. So I used the boat hook in one hand and the wasp spray in the other to slowly lift up the actual sail covers, the canvas covers. I was shocked at just how many nests were in this. I'd already done the forward interstitial, and that had quite a few nests in it. This one turned out not to be quite as bad, but you can see just how cautious I was being. You know, I'd start at one side with the boat hook, I'd lift up a section and then step back for a moment and spray it if needed. Then move to the other side and kind of repeat that whole process. And you can see I did exactly that here until I got to the front and realized I needed to untie that, which is a little nerve-wracking because, you know, you got to sort of stand up and get to the wires. I'm like, I'm going to be standing up on a ladder here, or, you know, on a step stool when I get ready to pull these off. But it turned out to be okay. So with the covers off, it was now time to raise the sails, and with most of the bees' nests dead in them, what we found over the years is if the boat's been sitting any amount of time, the dirt daubers will build nests up along the sail, and when you raise the sails up, it's kind of like dirt bombs falling from the sky. So I raised the interstitial and then went ahead and repeated the process on the actual main as well. It doesn't show up in the video quite as much here, but as I'm raising these, you know what a dirt dauber's nest looks like. You know, some of them can be as, you know, big around as a $50 piece or so. Others, you know, a little bit bigger than a golf ball. And when you pull the sail up and the sail kind of straightens out, these things will fall off of the sail and land down on the deck, and they kind of explode into a bunch of dirt. I ended up rinsing the sides of the boat and the deck off multiple times just because it was sort of covered with mud as I saw these things sort of crash into the deck. It was crazy looking.
Well, sun rising on the other side of the boat, I call this slip sailing. Got to put the sails up because when they've been stored like this, I found no less than 5 active wasps, Noah hornets or yellow jacket, whatever nests in there, another 2 or 3 dormant ones. And you can see the big splotches where it looks wet. That's because that part is doused with with wasp spray. But also dirt daubers come launching out of that thing as well. So anyway, good news. I'm going to sweep and clean the deck off of dead bugs and dirt daubers and mud, and we will lower the sails again. That wasp spray on the deck gets really slippery, so I'm going to rinse all that off right now.
After getting the deck all cleaned up, it was time to get back to work, and then the next morning I came out and basically repeated the entire process for the back sail, so what's called the mizzen sail. And I just did this as a quick motion-based time lapse, you know, very similar. Took the cover off, sprayed with wasp spray, got rid of the live wasp nest, raised the sails, got rid of any dirt daubers, cleaned the decks, etc. And yeah, got that one done as well, and now we were bee-free.
You know, the dinghy's battery's dead sitting over on the trailer, so I've got to get some of this stuff all set up and arranged. So it's yeah, time to start checking this stuff out. And you know, we've got a little dry storage over here. Just to give you an idea, this is the back side of the marina dry storage, and these are our 2 dinghies. This one is the one we want to take on the trip, right? Nice center console, 30 horse. It's rough sitting on the trailer here. It looks like it's sitting crooked, but I need to find a key for my nice secure lock that I couldn't find. Let's see if this is it. Got the old dinghy going. Hopefully we'll see how well she's running. It's Louisiana swamps are kind of cool though. Little gas here, see? On into the Chafuncta River. the video right there. This has been a great trip so far to Louisiana. We're getting a lot of little projects done. We're prepping the boat, making sure the motors are working, sails are ready, rigging's all set. And it's just so hard to do that through somebody else. So having your hands on it is a great way to do it. And we got some of this taken care of now. We'll pick up again next week and we will take you out on Dream Chaser. We definitely take her out for a sail. We get some additional work done around both Last Affair and Dream Chaser. And we do some lovely little sightseeing around parts of Lacombe on the north shore of Louisiana. All right, everybody, safe sailing, and we'll see you next week. From Gil aboard the sailing vessel Dream Chaser, safe sailing and a following sea.